Science, the actual company.
Wow.
Yeah, we had him on the podcast one time, and like it went nuts. I've never gotten more calls, even when I had Kyle Rittenhouse on. I never got more calls than when I had Von Kleem on, with people like, just, how the fuck did you get Von Kleem? I'm like, how the fuck did you know who he is? I never heard of the dude. Apparently in law enforcement, if you're like a real professional, you all know who he is. I'm not a real professional.
I am, the furthest. Well, and I've been retired for a long time, so I don't know anybody anymore.
Yeah, well, that was from Banning. Banning was boys with him and made the magic happen. So thanks for that, Banning.
I mean, I came from the era of,
just a blessing from the folks that I've met during this LinkedIn journey and now podcast journey. So
yeah. So Banning's the one that opened my eye. That's actually how Banning and I kind of met, was through LinkedIn, even though our agencies kind of touch tips. And
they went to SWAT training together.
So I got linked up with Banning on LinkedIn, who's got like 40,000 followers on LinkedIn. I'm like, what the fuck am I missing? Is there something here that I didn't know about? And
Chuck, why didn't we have Banning on our show yet?
Yeah.
First of all, I just learned about LinkedIn this year to apply for jobs. I never thought it was a social media thing. I thought it was just to apply for jobs with resumes.
Chuck's also had a hard time understanding how the Google Calendar works.
Well, first of all, that's a user error on your part because you never sent me the correct request per calendar.
Do me a favor, take Chuck over there. You talk to him. I'll go talk to Tommy, and we'll figure out what this story is. We'll get together. It sounds like we got a domestic going on. So
separate both parties.
Yeah, if I were to guess who the aggressor is going to be, it's probably going to be Tommy.
Yeah,
Tommy, you're probably going to go to jail.
Fire all the shots.
Yeah,
probably should have gone to jail years ago.
Oh shit. For those listening, I'm sorry. This is how this is going to go tonight. I see it happening already. I want to say, Kenny, your fucking bar is legit, dude. Like,
I know, right?
I thought
he was a DJ.
Look like you're at work.
Although in today's climate, if you're going to have the bottom of a solid red flag behind you need to lower it a little bit to show what the rest of it is.
Yeah, I did not see that coming.
That's definitely an Irish flag, and that's orange.
Oh, is it? Okay, the green. Okay.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, his whole shtick is off of his red ninja. He's a ginger, so that's the ninja comment there. But Kenny, Tommy, Chuck, thanks for joining us. If you guys have never done this before, we interact a lot with the people that chat. So if they ask questions and stuff, we'll we'll pause it or highlight what they got to say. Like Space Rock Vaughn is so sexy.
My first time.
It looks like some of your guys are actually chiming in. Mr. Nice Guy 7613 popped on. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you guys joining your channel up. I don't know whose channel is whose. It doesn't tell me. So Lee Newton Rhodes, appreciate you joining in. Good evening, sir. Vaughn smells like love and fresh cut grass. Greg Eliason, he is one of my helpers with the social media side on my Facebook stuff. But he says, I think the devil dog could take Tommy. Oh,
you haven't seen how short he is.
I'm 5'8".
With the heels on.
No, I'm wearing slippers. I'm 5'8". I just got measured. I got to do the whole thing.
Right? I want to check something real quick. Oh, there we go. That biggie size is a little bit better.
Look at that.
I know. I'm always learning new stuff. Like Banning's green screen that we've been trying to get right for the last 40 minutes. Shit.
It's from Temu, man. I'm sorry. I'm doing the best.
This from Temu would be like this big.
Well, it is. He bought 80 of them on accident.
Taped them together.
Okay, so what we do if you're new to this is we will watch body cam footage together. All of us being law enforcement professionals.
Well,
air quotes. And what we will do is we will pretend that we are the officers in the video and kind of pause and discuss, like, okay, from here, this is what I see. This is what I would do. It's a little bit different than Monday morning quarterback and watching a video and go, well, this is where the officer fucked up and this is where the bad guys should have done that. You know, we don't do that. Inevitably, it does kind of happen where we will see an officer screw up as we're discussing, and we'll tell like, okay, I would have done this here, and then we play and the officer really screws the pooch. We've not watched any of these videos. We all do take a little self-accountability. When I pull these videos up, I did pull them up at random from Police Activity on YouTube, their channel. So if you have seen it, just say, I'll stay out of this one. I've already seen this video. So
got it.
That's kind of the route we take. It does take quite a while to get through just one 5-minute video.
I can imagine. Look how long the intro is taking.
Yeah, and we're drinking. Well, this is to give. See, you'll learn, man. When you do these lives, you got to give time for people to get in here, and you know, your guys' channels are really starting to pop up now. So I'm seeing all the people coming.
Well, and we're going live later. Are you gonna? Hopefully, you'll join us later.
Yeah. I'm not
later tonight.
I haven't had too much celebration of the hockey team playing.
I hope the red one wins.
The red team is up 177-99 right now. So
go sports.
Go sports. Yeah.
Oh wait, I have one. I have a score update. The red team is at 195.
That's what I have.
And the blue team is at 113.
I don't have that. Mine's still at 177.99. You must have the CNN version.
I was gonna say
I have 154.
No, if it was the CNN version, it would be the blue team 195. And the red team.
Didn't one of them like get in trouble or supposedly leak the election results?
Yeah, well, I think once they add California, I think blue team can. California is a gimme for the blue team, and that would get them to 167. So
okay, well, I can't math, so I'll just trust y'all.
Yeah, there you go.
The important thing, folks, is just get out there and root for your team. Yeah. As long as you root for them, you at least have a voice. But anyway, so what we'll do is we'll pull up a video and we'll get to going, and I will let y'all, our new guys, Kenny, Tommy, Chuck, I'll let y'all start. You'll start it off. I'll let you guys kind of get the ball rolling with it. So first, shout out to Police Activity. That is who we are getting this content from today. So I am going to share their channel. We're not affiliated with them in any way, but I like to give credit where credit is due. This is the channel that we are taking everything from today. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, do all the things for them, because they do take the time to pull all of this public footage and share it without messing with it. So that is why we use them so often. But with that said, the other part is we don't read any of the details until afterwards, guys. So we will.
Oh, we're raw dogging it.
Yeah. We watch it with no prior knowledge of what's going on.
Nice.
And then that way, the idea is for people to kind of see the mindset and training of all of us as police officers across the nation, and how we're similar but we're different, and how the job, we all get to be our own boss and make these types of decisions based on what we see and how we were trained. So it's kind of fun. All right, let's whoa, that's not what we wanted. We got to share this tab instead, and now we can biggie size this one.
What's nice for me is being retired. I can say what's on my mind and not have to worry about my agency trying to stick it up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Isn't
So
that nice?
that's why I have the disclaimer that you missed at the beginning. That whatever my guests say is it has nothing.
The opinions of me are not necessarily the opinions of anyone else on earth.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Ozark. Okay, Ozark. I got the bigger screen. Or were you talking about this one? Is that the one she probably wanted that one?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm a people pleaser. Yeah, that's what we got. So let's go. Okay, body cam footage. Typically, no. We got hazards on a truck. If I were to guess, he's looking for that truck.
Yeah, there's already a unit right there ready.
All right, Schwab, all yours. 16. You got all the information I have sent to you. 1037 southbound 71.
This one's exotic.
Okay, we're going to pause from here because one of the things we already know that we have is a pursuit. So, Tommy, I'll let you lead the way on this one. You know you're getting into pursuit. We don't know why yet. Obviously, there's some sort of justification. Sure. What are you starting to look at right now?
Well, immediately I'm thinking about where are we turning into? Do I know this location? Is this it's some sort of apartment complex, barracks, something or other, some sort of housing complex? And I'm wondering, is there an outlet? Right? What's on the other side? Is this a known location? Is this a doper location? There's that yellow triangle or yellow diamond sign right there, which is usually an indication of like there's some sort of road hazard, no turnout, something like that. So I'm starting to think, as you're turning in here, is there a way out? And what's something that is in this complex? What is the knowns and the unknowns?
Okay, Chuck, you got anything to add on that?
Yeah, I'm going to put out my location immediately. I mean, you're probably already broadcasting it, but I'm going to make sure that the radio traffic and the dispatch and everyone else knows where I'm going, and because he's probably getting ready to either foot bail or pulling into some sort of residential neighborhood. And at that point, now I normally run a partner, so I'd be telling my partner like, hey, get ready to bail if he bails, and start having that communication within the car. And yeah, that's probably where I'd be at right then and there.
Kenny, you got anything new?
The only thing I'd be worried about is like time of day. Like, is it school getting out? What's going on in this neighborhood? Something along those lines. Maybe try to get dogs and set up for perimeter in case he does bail on foot. Something along those lines.
Gotcha. Fair enough. For me,
housing,
one traffic
housing barracks, all that.
Yeah, it does look like barracks or Section 8 housing, something to that effect.
Section 8.
So anytime they start to go into something like this, for me, what I really start to worry about is who have they called ahead of time to run interference or take them in or anything like that, because a lot of times they're going to a known place, so that would be a concern of mine.
Right.
Banny, you got anything?
Just on the beginning of it, why are we there? What's our legal justification? Do we know who this is? Is there anybody in danger if we cut the pursuit off, if we can write paper on it next time? As a young officer out there, boy, you get those blinders on, you just want to chase, give you that foot pursuit, then go do the paperwork. But just the safety of it right now is just like you said, going into kind of this fishbowl neighborhood. He's got 2 other units with him that'll look like when he flipped around on him. Is he going to come back out on that pavement? Do we have enough to spike him? What's the agency's direction on that? I mean, there's just a lot of dynamic moving parts right now with it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm taking for granted that hopefully they've put out the suspicion, the suspicious search, the probable cause, the reason that you're just going to flip on this truck right away, go cherries and blueberries and go full coat. I mean, he was hauling ass to catch this truck.
Yeah.
And he is already, breaking world land speed records and cutting off traffic and doing all kinds of Dukes of Hazzard driving. So I would hope that when this came out over the air during the portion of the video that was muted, was why he's chasing this, but you never know.
Yeah.
With multiple squad cars lined up waiting for this dude to come by, like they already have some idea what and who it is.
Yeah. Yep. That was my vibe too, that they already knew why they were going after this dude. So let's keep going.
Current to apartment complexes here in Greenland. I've got Greenland and CID.
All right, so we're in the neighborhood again.
Coming back up to 71.
Yes, that black one must be involved.
Where can they run
Traffic's what I would consider light. This is good pursuit traffic for me. We don't have any residential homes on the side, so safety concerns. We got train tracks on one side. This is kind of optimal pursuit.
Good daylight,
great
good
roads. Yeah. Those are some great roads.
I've never had a pursuit this clear.
Well, I mean, you work in a shithole.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
So there is that truck. So we saw that darker color truck, not this lighter color red truck.
I think it's an undercover.
I think right. So I'm wondering if that's a UC vehicle or somebody that was already following the truck, and they needed to wait for marked units. And as soon as he saw the marked units, he
turned his hazards on.
Yep.
Yep. I agree.
Yep.
That's a good cause. That's what I was thinking too.
Yep.
Yep. Reading some of the comments here. Mr. Nice Guy said he didn't know it was a dead end, so he probably doesn't know where he is. Great point. Yeah. Or he was swinging around to see if one of his boys was outside or something like that, and didn't see him and was like, I got to keep going.
Well, and a lot of guys, especially because I worked in an area that had some rural areas like this, and the guys will know they can cut down a residential street and then cut over like a dirt, grassy area like that, hit that, look like a cul-de-sac at the end of that apartment complex area, and then try and get back out. So he could have been trying to double back with, high-speed counter, driving at that point.
Right.
And he may, it may indicate that he does know where he's going and he's trying to lose the tail.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know that cops will beat the shit out of their cars. So
yeah, in Arkansas for sure.
It's not our car.
All right. My mom it is loud. All of you.
Traffic stadium line around 71.
How do you guys feel about his follow distance? His follow distance is terrible if that's all he intends to do.
I think he's getting ready to pit.
If he's
I hope he is.
Beautiful.
I hope he's going to pit because that follow distance is no reactionary gap whatsoever.
Correct.
And what is this possibly maybe a stolen? I mean, he's got paper tags on there.
Yeah.
Kenny, if you don't mind, sir, can you kind of explain what we mean when we're talking about follow distance and why that's important?
You need some reaction time. So if he was to hit another car, you're going to smash into this dude, or your brakes fading because you're going so fast. There's so many other reasons like that you should never be this close unless you are trying to hit him, I would assume.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought up the phrase brake fade because I put out a video and I got so much shit for it. Basically, a trooper or a patrol car was coming in hot on a freeway where a pursuit had been terminated or ended because of a pit maneuver, and he was trying to come in hot so he can get there and get the guy before he foot bails. Well, his brake fade was so bad, he slammed right into the bad guy's vehicle, trying to avoid his partner's vehicle. So I'm trying to explain to people, you can hear the guy, shit, I didn't mean to hit him. Yeah. He said it wouldn't stop. And I tried to explain to people, I'm like, hey, just so you know, there's a thing called brake fade. And this is what happens. You get in these pursuits and you're braking constantly.
There's also brain fade where, cops forget that cars have physical limits.
Yes, absolutely. So in that, and that's kind of what happened to this officer, is he got vapor locked in that, oh my God, the guy's wrecked out. I got to get up there, and totally forgot about brake fade. And it's a thing. And you'll put the brakes to the floor and it just takes its sweet time to stop.
But that's that tunnel vision too. And one of the things I love about Chuck and I do this a lot because we'll do some debriefs occasionally on our show, and we will watch and we will talk about, one of the things I love to talk about is when you're watching a pursuit, when you're a lot of people that aren't cops just watch, but Chuck and I like to listen because the tone of voice, right, will tell you a lot about the officer and their experience and their mindset. When you have a guy, suspect's turning left 110 miles an hour, like you have this calm, quiet.
I call that the banding voice.
Right. Yeah. And then you have the guy, he's turning to right. So you kind of know where their mind is at, and if they're in tunnel vision, freak out, like a high adrenaline, holy shit mode, or if they're just dialed in.
The only time you get a pass for having an excited voice, because I really don't think you can physically help it, is when you are in a foot chase.
Yeah,
when you're in a foot chase. It's really hard to stay.
Well, you sound like a toddler in the middle of crying because you.
That's a great analogy. Yeah, I was in.
That's why you get an airship, and you're like, "Hey, airship, you got my location? Yeah, broadcast for me."
Thanks.
We
get it. You guys are rich.
You guys you're big agencying these people, dude. Inevitably, for smaller agencies, you call for air, right? And it's somebody else's air. And I know this because I work for a smaller agency, and we had to call for somebody else's air. You call for air, and what you get is negative. Air is not available. There's gravity out.
Yeah, got that. Oh my gosh.
It's sunny in 72. What are you talking about?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Banning.
Sorry, if we can't fly because of weather.
Yeah. Now, Banning comes from a very rural area. So, Banning, tell them how long your backup would be, not including air.
So typically, when I was on patrol, I had over 920 plus square miles. It could take an hour and 15 minutes to get to a call running code, and your speedometer's decked out trying to get there, and you ask for backup as you're going, especially if there's weapons. Well, they've got to usually call a deputy that may be in a surrounding county, and then they're trying to maybe locate a Texas trooper that's probably at the border or at the Capitol doing a rotation because of our wonderful issues that we're having in South Texas. So maybe you get a game warden, maybe a park police officer if they're happen to pass through. But usually on felony stops, stolen vehicles, I'd say 8 times out of 10 these deputies are on their own, and it's you just gotta grab life.
We had a deputy, and we talked, and he was out. Our city agency had to go back up a deputy who was out all by himself. And when he put out his location, we were the closest units in the city to respond because none of the other deputies were even remotely close. And we were 20 minutes out, code 3.
Right. Yeah, that's close. I'd do 20 minutes all day long. I got enough rounds.
You're like, I can hold a fight for 20 minutes.
It's damn right.
Well,
but,
to be fair, if you can't tell by Banning's name alone, he is every bit of a Texas cowboy who is like 6'5", 350 pounds of just solid muscle, and he just sits on you and you're done. Like, what are you gonna do? You probably outrun him, but
I don't chase people on foot. I think it's my Tahoe.
No, you're much experienced.
That's amazing.
Legend has it that one of the 4.6's bulls got out, and Banning picked it up and put it back in the ring.
Love it.
So
100% I could see that. You saw that cop move that car. I could see him just grabbing the bull,
just pushing that truck off the road.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Rumor has it Banning once tried to make love to the new Ford Explorer at the department.
It became a Tahoe.
That's right.
Oh shit.
Look at this.
Respect from Scotland, laddie.
I love it.
That's the family right there.
Freedom
Scotland
is keep. I
like
like
it. Fucking brave.
Heck yeah. I think I'm going to drink to that. Salud, sir.
That's
I wish I had a game.
All right. Should we watch the rest of it?
Yeah, we'll get to it. That's what's fun about this. Is there's no pressure to sit here. Although Greg will get honest. If Greg's having a bad night, Greg Eliason, he's one of my moderators for my Facebook. If he's having a bad night, he'll let me fucking know on here. He's gonna be like, "Fucking play the video. I ain't got time. I'm at work."
Banning's one of those guys. So Pravius. I don't know. He said Banning is like a horror movie killer, walks slowly, but is always right behind you. And I worked with cops like that. They didn't run. They had a hurry mode.
Yeah.
Right. And the suspect would go over the fence and the cop would go through the fence. Aaron Brown, love you, wherever you are in South Dakota.
I've done that.
Through the fence.
Yeah, fences are just obstacles that need to be moved.
Right. He didn't hop anything. He just destroyed it.
All right, let's keep going. Oh, yeah.
over 216.
Okay, so from here, Kenny, what's your next move?
Surrounding car with my gun out, waiting for them to see their hands.
Absolutely. Treat it like a felony stop is what we call that, where I'm at. So what do we like to do, and what do we see happen often, especially with the Georgia State Police, or maybe
running up
You're gonna run up and pull them out by the wind wing.
yeah, they're gonna like Dukes of Hazzard over the hood and then pull them out. So
City cops would point their guns at it, pop their doors, and call them out.
Yeah. So for those listening, what we're talking about is they're going to get over the loudspeaker. Driver, show us your hands. Show us your hands. Like
your left hand.
Yeah. Because as you can see, all his airbags deployed. It is going to be impossible for us to see in there. It is not worth the risk. He's running for something. We don't know what it is, but it isn't worth the risk to go up to those windows and try to get this guy out. So play it safe. Call the guy out. Maybe he'll say I'm stuck, something to that effect. Maybe he won't say shit, which that always sucks. And but eventually you're either going to have to stack up and move closer when you got enough officers, which I think they had plenty, judging by the fleet they had coming after this guy. But if not, they'll call him back to where they're at. Now, because it rolled, it's reasonable that he may be injured. So,
sure. Depending on the scenario, a dog would be great right here if he doesn't come out.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm in the minority on this one, guys.
Sorry.
I realize dogs are a tool for police, but I'm too. This is why I can't be a canine guy. Too attached to dogs.
You wouldn't send the dog?
I wouldn't send the dog.
He's such a good boy.
I would be like,
Guitartial Arts. Shout out to Guitartial Arts who joined the chat. He's one of our guys, and he made it to a live show for the first time, and it's not one of ours. So,
which one is it? I don't see. Oh, he's way up top. Okay,
yeah. Now. He actually. So Guitartial Arts. He's been a guest on the show. He's a veteran. He's served in Sangin, Afghanistan. It's awesome shit. So.
Hell yeah.
One of our boys.
Must have been Air Force Security Forces like me, SF baby.
Yes, they had a lot of Air Force Security Forces in Sangin Valley.
Salutes like me, sir.
Sangin Province.
Hey, I wore a beret, sir. I was official.
I knew you did. All right.
All right, let's keep going.
Oh, you mean it in the military you wore a beret? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, I had the raspberry berets for
on a Saturday.
Hands! Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Hands! Show me your fucking hands!
We call that potty language is escalated for purpose. I see a hand right there. See?
You're using the language of the people you were serving.
Yes.
It's
obviously
language.
Regular language didn't work until he dropped the F-bomb, and now look what's popped out the top there. I hear.
Mm-hmm. Show me your hand. No,
on the ground! On it! On it! Get out! On the ground! Get the fuck out of the window!
That is the universal sign of defeat. Right there. You got me. I like this bad guy already.
Got him?
It is the truth. Look at that.
Hey, go grab him real quick. Go put handcuffs on him. Who else is in the car besides you two?
Okay, here comes the tricky part because he's going up there by himself. I don't know if there's one or two people in there. And what are you going to do? You going to try to open that door? I doubt it's going to open. Window. You going to cuff him here?
So here's the thing. At that point, I'm just going to have him crawl the fuck out.
Right? I like that. Yeah.
I am just going to be like, no, crawl.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's going to be like, I'm fucked up. I can't. No, crawl.
Yeah.
I don't care. Right. Like, I'm not playing at this point.
What do you think, Kenny?
Yeah, I think he tried, and then the guy just like went in that defeated mode where he's like limp on the door. So I agree with you. I would want him out of the car if possible.
Yeah. I mean, okay, his legs might be pinned. Sure, they might be double broken femur. Okay, whatever.
Tommy, Chucky was trying to talk.
Was he?
Cutting him off. Chucky, you say what you want to say, sir.
Shit. So I would just give him clear and concise instructions. I mean, they're get the fuck out of the car, get out. But really, you're not telling them to do anything other than get out and run, get out. That's what you're going to face in court, right? So you have to answer for your actions when you're giving. So give clear, concise instructions. Crawl out of that window. If that door doesn't open, you're going to crawl out of that window. I don't care. And then you're going to get on this. You put your stomach onto the floor. Look forward. Face away from me, put your hands out, and then prone his ass out on the ground, and then you can call for another officer if there is one. I mean, it looks they're troopers, so they probably are running one in a car. He's probably got one guy behind him, and that other truck's probably way behind him. So, I mean, you could prone him out and wait for a second to see if there's anyone else in the car, so you can do another call it. But I would definitely give some clear and concise instructions because I've seen it far too many times. You just start yelling and barking orders. They don't know where to go. They get confused. I've seen that so many times.
Yeah. Banning, you got anything, bud?
If he's hurting, I'd also write him a seatbelt ticket and be done.
That almost came out my nose.
I'll say this though, I'm not comfortable with him approaching like that when the driver is unsecured.
I'm with you. That's why I like the calling him out, and I'm going to make him come back to me.
Yes, and if he's not able to come out, okay, cool. Drape both your broke ass arms out the window and hang there while I deal with the driver who I cannot see. And if you move, you might get dealt with. And then leave him there. You can see him. You cannot see the driver. So he is a known. The driver is an unknown.
Yep.
You saw one hand of the driver, right? So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, leave, Billy Bob hanging out the window with his broke ass arms and deal with Jimmy Lee in the driver's seat and get him known.
That's Banning's family. You don't talk about people like that.
I feel like at this point you can slow down and you have a lot of time now, right?
Slow way down.
Yeah,
I think it's
run up there and get him out of the car, but he can literally all right, deal with this one. I can see your hands. Both of us deal with this one, and then we can go and deal with this one together.
Right.
Fair to say that truck is no longer going to take off on them.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
It only lost, I think, 2 tires.
I'm waiting for the other state trooper that's going to come from the front and ram it.
Yeah,
just to make sure.
I think Greg's got a good point. He goes, "It's a trooper. He's definitely going to write a belt ticket." Honestly, that is what the other officer's doing right now. Is he's writing? Hold on, keep him there. We got to get this ticket written out.
I love that it city agencies, that black thing across his back is the mic cord, but at the state trooper level, it's still a suicide strap.
I don't know what that thing.
It's a suicide strap. It's a Sam Brown suicide strap. It's the old leather. There's so many of these state agencies, they still wear the leather
just because
strap.
of the custom.
Yeah.
I know Kansas is a huge one. They have to wear USA with that thing all the time. It's
Arkansas wears them. They wear the most ornate freaking leather gear and have
Shelby's being a party pooper. There's too many cooks in this kitchen. You know what? Nobody told you had to eat, Shelby. It's like you can go without food.
Hey, Shelby, we'll see you at locker room if you don't want to do this.
This is what we do. We just sit here and bullshit. This is what's funny is people get so excited about the video and they're like, "Shut the fuck up and play the video." Hey, this is what you signed up for, folks.
All right,
let's keep going.
We can't about this. Why is this happening?
Why is this happening?
Why is this happening?
Get off. I can't.
Get off.
I'm tired, sir.
Hey, get out on it. On the ground.
Yes, sir. I didn't do anything.
Who else is in the car?
Sir, I didn't do anything. I promise.
Is everybody else in it?
I'm down. I ain't done shit.
You move and I'm gonna pull your fucking head off.
Yes, sir. I didn't do it.
Put your hands behind your back right fucking
Yes, sir. I didn't do that, though.
You just keep your fucking hands right
Put
there.
that seat up.
Yes, sir. I do.
Put that seat up.
Everybody in there?
Yeah, girl.
Oh, God, sir. I'm hurting. Help me. Please,
You got an ambulance around. You're fine.
And scene secure. All right.
Wow.
Blow your fucking head off.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't hate that, but just wow. I'm so disappointed for them.
That was Arkansas. Is that that's exactly how I thought that was going to go.
I thought it was going to go like that, but much faster.
Yeah.
You know a fun fact about Arkansas?
No, what?
The red team just won in Arkansas.
Dang, the hockey games are going pretty.
Yeah, 195 to 117 still. Red team in Arkansas.
Okay, let me refresh here. Show you what I'm sitting at 99-178. So
you got to go to.
I'm just using Google. That's probably why.
Are you looking at the house? Or are you looking at?
No. I'm looking at the mixed.
No, for Tommy. I'm looking at 162.81. We all have different answers.
I have one.
Well, that's because they're all calling it at different rates. All the different people call it at different rates. But I'm looking at the one I like. My hockey game is actually 2-1 LA, which is all that matters really.
There's my hockey game right now. That's what I'm seeing. Let me refresh. Yep, that's what it shows.
Which shows you how much I care about you, Eric, and Chuck, and Banning and Kenny. All of you. I'm missing an actual Kings game to be here with you. So I love you guys.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Feelings not mutual. So
it's fine.
Anyway,
I'm used to loving myself.
Oh, I'm just fucking with you.
I love this beer.
I'm digging this beer that I got right now. Kenny is got like 17 bottles of Jameson behind him.
Yeah. By the way, Chuck, somebody in the chat like hours ago asked if you had a dad's root beer koozie. So you have to show people your koozie.
Oh,
No, wait.
It's Dad. It's man, the myth, the legend, and
Yeah.
Oh, with the Rocky music? Hell yeah.
That's mine. I got it for Father's Day.
That is legit.
Yeah.
Nice. And we got an applause going on. Nice.
Oh yeah. I'm hooked up. I'm hooked up to our full setup. So if you hear random sound effects, I might have to throw them at you.
Are you doing the Rodecaster Pro 2?
No, I do the Tascam Mixcast, young man.
Oh, okay. Fancy. Going to the comments, Brandon Sterling in the house, by the way, a regular of the show. He says that trooper is just taking all the risks. City cops like, I don't give a shit. Get out of the car.
Yeah. So I'm disappointed that they did all this at the car, right?
Right.
If it's me and he says like, yeah, well, I'm dragging his ass away from the car. And I'm doing my business at work away from the car. He's literally standing over top of him, straddling him, looking in the car. Is there anybody else in the car? Is there anybody else in the car? What?
Yeah.
I am so disappointed.
What was that?
There's a female in the backseat of the car.
Is there?
I heard him say, I heard a girl talk, and someone said, yeah, there's a girl back here.
So do we think that's the driver that moved over to the passenger seat?
No, I think the driver's out, and the other two had addressed him on the ground on the driver's side. I think there were 3 people in that car. My guess.
3 in the car, driver's down on the ground, and the other 2 guys on the driver's side are actually dealing with that issue. Then we're watching the Arkansas State Trooper deal with the Bubba the passenger hanging out, and then there's a gal in the back who's like, "They just picked me up at the Motel 6 and promised me $20 for a blowjob."
Right. Well, let's keep playing it, I guess.
Get out. Come on. Either you get out or I drag you out. Get out. I'm 10-4. Start to let it from my car. All right. Roll over.
Get out of the car.
I'm trying.
Let's go. Step out of the car, man. Okay, well, we're going to handle that, but we're going to get you secured first, okay? Put your hands behind your back. You weren't asleep last night? No, you weren't asleep. Bullshit. Let's go. We're going to sit up.
All right.
That's an Arkansas 7 right there, boys. They scored. She's an Arkansas 7.
That chick beat up from the feet up. I mean, she's
an LA 3, but she is an Arkansas 7.
Y'all mean. Come on now.
Was she wearing a safety flotation ring? Is that what
yeah, that was her stomach.
Was she wearing a life donut ring?
All right. Let's change it up. Let's go to a new video here. Share screen. Florida man.
Oh, Florida man.
Yes.
You know it's going to be good. Police activity.
Love Florida man.
Office. What's going on?
Oh, there's a guy in the field. Taking a nap.
Okay.
You have my police record?
I got nothing, sir. All we got was a phone call saying you were at a cemetery, which wasn't the case.
I'm so concerned right now because do you see what's in the field?
That's a plane.
It's on an airstrip. So
What is this guy? Is he contacting the Red Baron? What is happening?
We're about to see some shit. Because how are you gonna follow that? Like,
well, and the guy he contacts him. He's like, "Hey, sir," and he's like, "Do you know about my criminal history?"
Yeah, that's a red flag.
That's a way to lead a conversation.
Yeah. So
police would call that a clue.
It's like basically, they call me Billy the Kid, right? Like,
Right.
Oh shit. Yeah. Well, this is gonna be interesting.
Would you call in dispatch or have one more cop come out, please?
Dispatch called me here. What is?
Because you ain't enough, son.
That's concerning again. Like he's like, "Hey, you're gonna need another cop."
Yeah. So for me,
Wait.
I'm not gonna lie. If I see his hands are clear right now, I may bum rush him because I'm that confident in myself. But I may
That's
go.
right, because you have that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background.
I may go knee on belly right here.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
he's already in a compromised position. So if he decides to get stupid, like, I've got all I need to cuff him right now. Do you know my criminal history? And you're gonna need another cop. Like,
tase the shit out of him.
For no reason.
It's a little aggressive. Might work in Florida or Georgia, but
What is it you need?
Guitar swords. Plot twist. It's Snoopy.
Okay, well, you called us, so you must need us for something.
I've had bad experiences.
Yeah, you're good, sir.
Oh, he's got a problem right there already.
So what is going on? What is it you called us out here for?
Well, I'll tell us. No, I don't know. What did dispatch say?
They told us that you called, said people were after you, you were in the trees, and then a second call came in, you said you were at the cemetery.
Okay.
That's all we've been told.
And are you guys here to like protect and serve my best interests?
I'm here because you called. I'm not sure what it is we can do for you. That's what we're trying to figure out.
I violated probation by doing drugs.
Okay. Well, if all you've done is use drugs prior to us being here, you're not in possession of any drugs, there's nothing we can do about your probation. I can't violate you for having consumed something prior to my arrival.
you absolutely can. What the fuck are you talking about?
He's dispoing it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to take the call.
No,
He's like, I don't want to impound a plane right now.
Sir.
Eric,
There is nothing to
it's
see
day
here.
shift. It's day shift, and they haven't had lunch yet.
This is a day shift call. He does not know how to deal with a plane and a guy who's high on probation. He's like, if this ain't a theft report.
It's a call notes.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's
10-8 with an FI.
Oh, yeah. See, here's one of my day shift friends right now.
Just leave. They call me Bobby the pot flying pilot.
Yeah.
Really? Why do they call you that? You
Takes
figure
off
it out.
out into the plane. Smoking a joint.
Anybody ever hear Bales of Cocaine by Reverend Horton Heat? That's all I'm saying.
What is it you need of us right now?
I don't know.
Sounds like from what we got from this gentleman, this isn't where you live.
I'm thinking about moving in. Psychiatric help. Who would you recommend?
I need psychiatric help.
Oh, it's up to you. Do you want to go? Do you want us to drive you somewhere? Because we can take you to the closest facility if you want to go.
Who would you take me to?
What's that?
Who will you take me to?
From here, the closest place would be the Vines. You ever been there?
No.
Is that something you're interested in? Do you want to go to
We'll
the
take you to the
facility?
county line, sir.
Yes.
Are you thinking about
Nice
injuring
guys in
yourself, hurting
California,
yourself
for
in any
sure.
way?
No. I'm thinking about laying here till the stars come up.
Laying here.
That won't work.
be 10-12 with
another don't call it.
male subject in the middle of the field.
Your GPS. Great. Thank you.
Let's put real cop hats on for a second. Right now, we don't have an offense. Well, him saying he used drugs and he's on probation, you could do an offense on that. But other than that,
But I mean, how many of us are really going to pursue a probation violation like that
Right.
at this point, right? Like, you have nothing.
Yeah.
You have almost nothing.
Ward said, like, pilots aren't known for their drinking.
I would do a little bit
so
more
he works for
investigation.
Southwest.
Okay, so what is it we can do for you, sir? If you want to go to a facility to be seen, a psychiatric facility, an
Let's talk
ambulance
about
can
that hair
trace you
for
to
a
the
second.
hospital. They will screen you. They will ensure that you're in.
What's that?
Can we talk about that hair for a second? I've worked with a lot of female cops, and knee to the face handles is one of the things I've always had a problem with.
You don't like the high bun?
I mean, it is what it is, but damn, like,
I mean,
that's you are gonna lead her around by that top knot, and unless she has a samurai sword, I don't want to see a top knot. It's got to be tight to the head, like it's it's tactical. That's all I want to say. That's
yeah. My argument is, if you're good with grappling, I welcome people to grab my head, grab my vest, whatever you grab.
I appreciate that argument. I will counter with, do you think she's good at grappling?
I don't know. I'm not gonna make assumptions here.
Okay.
in good health. The facility can receive you, and then the facility can get transported to the facility, and then they will see you on a voluntary basis, meaning that you'll sign yourself in. You'll say, I'm here for these reasons, and then they will talk with you. And then if there's an actual thing they can provide for you, a service, or they can admit you somewhere, or they can provide treatment, they will do that. You're not giving me a reason to send you there against your will. You're asking to go there voluntarily.
Don't say that. You're not giving me a reason.
Oh man,
this is a masterclass in kissing off calls. And I think those are 2 buns on either side, by the way. I don't think that's 1 bun.
Well, it's Florida. Mickey Mouse. They got a Minnie Mouse.
They have to represent the contract Disney's paying for. She's a Disney resource officer.
Yeah, no matter what you do, you gotta always, it's got to be subliminal messages everywhere so they get paid. But banning, man, the verbiage on that, like, I'm not. I don't like that he said that. You're not giving me a reason. If you're a new cop out there, don't do that shit.
Just make an action, get done with it, and go on to the next. Get the guy some help if you need some help, and go on to the next call. I mean, that's just.
He's basically saying, "Sir, what can I say to make this go away?"
Yep. And if it's voluntary, get a friggin' ambulance there. Get it if you want. If he's voluntary, he's not fighting anybody. Doesn't have friggin' active warrants.
Yep.
Done.
I think what he's really saying is, please do something stupid because I just challenged you.
Well, Ozark said it, right? He says, I bet he gives the officer a reason. And there's all these red flags, but you've got an officer that's at like condition code 7. Like he's ready for lunch and this guy's.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Let's keep going.
And so that's what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to provide that opportunity.
I'm actually screwed.
Why do you say that? Well, you're in the middle of a field right now. It's probably one thing you shouldn't be in the middle of. How did you get here? You walked from where? Because you're not living out here, so how did you get here?
Have some fun. Step back 20 feet.
Why?
No.
Why are you asking me to step back? What's going on? Where are y'all to?
Got one on the ground.
PC for anything at this point.
Okay. So,
running to their patrol cars. He's going to take one of them patrol cars.
Well, that's the thing is like right now, like as long as I know my cars are locked like they should be, and for every rookie out there listening, like this is why you lock your shit up. I'm hoping that's what happens, but
yeah, it's right there in the title. I apologize.
Other than that, I'm not chasing this dude. I'll be doing the same thing. Where are you going? All right, we got no offense.
Yeah. Is your car locked? Yeah. No. Whose car is that? I just locked it. Hey!
Hey! Go, baby, go!
He tried blaming the female officer in a green Uber.
Hold the station, man. The subject that's on my vehicle attempted to take it today. Hey!
He's pro playing the cop too. No, you gotta be quicker than that.
65 behind OPD. We're westbound.
All right.
Wow.
I like this guy a lot more now. Wow.
I like how he's gonna he tried to blame the female officer right quick.
So is that your car? No.
No.
Is it locked? It's not my car. I locked it.
Well, him driving it away says otherwise, sir.
And turns out the keys are in it too.
Yeah, right. All right, Banning, you're the supervisor on this one.
Do I go back to the one that I really had? Oh no, I guess we'll do this one. This is a no shit moment for the officer that obviously didn't lock his car, because this was turned into a huge hill when this could have been what is other referred to as a 10803 no report. Go on to the next, and now we got freaking theft of a police car. So it's a big deal. All we can do now is call it out and rely on the agencies that are close to us to try to get this thing to come to a peaceful ending. But this is not going to be an attaboy in that officer's file.
No. And legit question: at what point would you guys have cleared?
In the very beginning, for me, right. I mean, unless the owner of that land is calling in, and if it's open, there's fences, there's no expectation to people being off the land or whatever. I mean, this was all drawn upon the officer not doing what a lot of officers would. It's just clear. He's not exhibiting. He doesn't have a knife to himself. He's not trying to hurt himself. He wasn't trying to freaking take the plane. Looks to me like he's waiting for a brush hog. I don't know.
Dear T Ward, dear Chief, what happened was,
Yeah.
and we say that on our show a lot, but I will say this: there is no point at which, like, it sounds like, to your point, Banning, this guy, and I am in no way encouraging us to rewind it, but it sounds like he is the one who called, right? He
called on himself.
Said,
yeah,
and he says, "I don't know. You called us here."
Yeah.
So I feel like this guy was looking for an Uber.
Yeah.
And he figured a police car would do.
Yeah.
I'm sure in the past 48 hours, he was on K2 or meth, one of the two, just the way he's.
I wouldn't have left simply because I want to avoid the next calls that he's going to either put in himself or make somebody else call on him. So I probably would have like tried to talk to him, do whatever I could. However, like the whole, like I said, the criminal history and all that shit, I probably would have went up there and put my hands on him. Just 100%. Because I was getting, if anything, I've got abuse of 911. Like, you called, you didn't have a reason for us to be here. You're having some sort of mental issue, and it just seems like a safety issue when you tell me I need to get another officer.
See, for us, abuse of 911 would have been anorexic then, but I could have articulated that he's 51, 49 and a half. And for my own safety now, because of the way he's acting, he's altered. And I'm going to say, you know what? I'm just going to put you in cuffs for my safety and let you sit down while we figure this out.
Yeah.
Right? And so I would have at least cuffed him up and put him on his ass and made him cross his feet. And while we were having that conversation, there is no world in which I would have let him have that conversation with free use of his limbs.
I do love the slow sprint that he had going
right
all the way to that car that could have been completely prevented had they just put a little effort into.
Also, he did not just drive into the field. He parked like 100 yards away and then walked up to this dude. Was he trying to respect the grass?
Maybe they wildfires or something. I don't know. In Texas, that's a problem. Like, I would in our fields in Texas, especially after spring, I'm not driving into grass that long.
Start
a wildfire.
Tim, the wordsmith, is one of our guys, and he says, "What if you figured out how to trigger the unlock for the shotgun and rifle?" And I mean, that's 100%. You never let people get in your car. Like, never.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that officer, because it takes time and energy, he doesn't carry a shotgun and a rifle in his car. That's just the feeling I got.
Strong call.
Kenny, what do you think?
I thought we were not assuming. You assumed the partner knew, we didn't assume the partner didn't know jujitsu, even though she has the two.
That's fair.
Buns on her head. So
that's fair. Kenny, what's going on, man? I forgot you were here.
I'm completely dumbfounded by it. Like, this whole incident. I love that. I've been speechless from the beginning, and I'm even more at this point.
The level of stupidity that went on here.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, let's see how this.
Street.
Westbound 10th Street.
In the Sarge just back like. Our fucking man.
You can't terminate this.
You get a pit on that car. Get a pit on that car.
Get a pit on that car.
Good. Now we're passing our own units.
That's not a pit, sir.
That's a side swipe.
65, I'm out.
This is demolition derby.
Yeah.
And it wasn't successful, but
he hasn't figured out the lights yet, so that's good.
Behind it, I'm gonna try and pit, Marion.
I'm trying to pit.
There you go.
Okay, pit. 200 and okay.
Hold on. What do you
Notice
think?
how to pit?
What do you think the citizens going through their mind right now? Like, what the fuck is going on? You got cop on cop violence happening right now.
He took the last donut.
I said I get the last chocolate. You fucker.
It's more realistic to say he figured out he was sleeping with his wife.
Oh man, you know what? Martin Luther King would not approve of what is happening right now.
No, he would not. And as Chris Rock says, anytime you see MLK Boulevard, the last thing you see is peace.
Oh, that is old Kid Rock, Chris Rock.
Kid Rock too. Hey, all the Rocks.
Yeah.
The Rock, Kid Rock, Chris Rock.
Yep.
Whole Rock family.
Is there any more rocks that we're not thinking of?
Do not let him get out of there.
Oh my God!
Now
promote that kind of captain right away.
That guy must be really
No, sir. That's what we were going to let him do. We're going to let him get out. Unbelievable.
Okay.
With arms wide open. It's like this.
Take your time. We got all the time in the world, guys.
Scream and yell, scream and yell. Also, take your time.
Amped up, man. He must not have been in the field with him.
Watch our crossfire, guys.
I like this guy. He's talking. He's communicating. He's watching for everybody.
He's on camera.
Eric,
He saw that lens in the.
He was doing what, Danny?
He was doing reports from night shift, and he came out from the station to help.
Sure, that does sound like a night shift cop, right?
Yeah.
Right. He knows what's up. He knows how to do police work.
He's like, I got 11 hours left.
We're good.
They're probably going to stick him with the sheet. Hey, man, we're getting off here. Can you handle it?
Face away from him. Follow the instructions.
Where's he looking?
Yeah,
I'm confused on the angle here.
Got them sirens.
Is he running?
We're walking out.
Here we go.
On the ground. I'll go. Gentlemen, I told the cops twice.
Gentlemen, it reminds me of that. They're touching my penis. You remember that old video? Oh, shit.
Oh, gentlemen.
You know your judo well, sir.
What took you so long to get here?
These guys showed up, and I think the cops were false. There's something going on at the Hilltop Lounge. I think they want to prostitution. Somebody ride with, please. I think they're doing prostitution out there. I accidentally stole the main guy's car.
Let your hand go.
In 2020.
Let your hand go.
I think I stole his car in 2020. Anyway, I was up there for the last week. They drove me, and I think they have other people in there. I came out and I was listening to the guy talk, and he's like, boss, I think this is the guy that stole your car earlier.
I finally understand what is happening here, boys.
Oh my God. I think I
get it.
Sussed it out.
I see what's happening. I'm seeing through. He set all this up because he had to make it look legit because he's being followed. And he had to have a legit arrest so he could snitch without looking like he's snitching. And what better way to say that I didn't snitch? I stole a police car. In this. So now he can get the person that stole the car in 2020. So that
I was trying to report prostitution to y'all.
Right? So I stole this car.
Wow.
It is plaguing our Florida place. That's great.
All I wanted was to tell you that Kim's house of massage is a rub and tug. You made me steal your police car just to make the report, guys.
Space Frog said, Sergeant on the radio, lock the doors when you get out. That would have been so epic to hear over the radio. Hey, when you guys approach, make sure you lock your doors.
Oh my gosh.
Holy shit. What did we
That
got?
was horrible.
Tim the wordsmith said drawing and exhibiting weapon limits his options, crossfire issues. Yeah, he was calling it out too. I think that Ward pointed out that camera angle was wide and it looked like he was not even facing the bad guy.
It did not look like he was pointing it at the suspect. He looked like he was pointing it off angle.
Yeah, but when it showed the body cam of the other dude, then you saw it look normal. I was like,
it was weird. It was a fisheye or something.
Yeah, that was odd. Okay, let's exit out of this one. We've already watched the Arkansas guy. Okay. What I would like to show next is, okay, did you guys, people may or may not have caught the video that I put out there of I think it was Georgia and Florida college football game. There was a fight up in the stands. Now, with the police and the guy sitting in the stands. So I took a risk and I was like, I'm going to do a reaction video because it was sent to me. And I'm going to just kind of call it how I see it. I didn't have all the information. I owned up to that right away. Like, this is what I've been told. And I'll tell you what my reaction is based on what I see.
I did see that video. I saw you own it too.
Yeah. And it turned out I fucking nailed it. So I just want to throw that out there.
Take a chance like the ball, using the football analogy, metaphor.
Yeah. So I want people to we'll watch this video and you'll see where people got kind of hung up on it at the beginning.
I just, for those that care.
Yeah. So
LA Kings 2, Minnesota 1. Oh, I'm sorry. The other sports.
117.
Red team 205, blue team 117.
We got such different numbers. I'm at 109, 198.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, let me load this guy up here.
Oh, I'm at 195.91.
Holy shit. You must be on Florida.
You must be on CNN's channel.
Yep. Let me see here. Police brutality.
Although, I mean, if you want to, okay. Oh, yes. This is the one. The green seats tell me the whole story. I remember seeing this in the green seats. It was good. So I'll keep my mouth shut if I can.
Let me go side by. Nope, that doesn't look any better, does it? Guess we'll go back to this one. And we will.
I think you can put all the viewers on the side, right? No?
That's what I thought, but I can't.
Oh, well, that's a shame.
Oh, we put man.
Perfect timing.
I was just trying to stack you.
The son of a bitch.
Yeah, it when I try to put you all on the side, that's what it does. So, I mean, it is what it is. Fuck it.
Yeah,
we'll get
you. If they can't take a joke.
Okay. So this is. We'll just go. This is off of. This is not body cam footage. This is somebody filming the police, and we'll go from here.
Okay. Oh, we got our taser out.
Yep. Taser out. I'm gonna go back and this was the first video I seen on this, and so I'll tell you what I pointed out initially is the officer approaches and he tries to grab this arm, and I'm guessing was my assumption. Hey, dude, you're under arrest. Stand up. We got to go. That was my assumption on this, and I said, I don't know what they're saying. Can't hear it. And we don't have the body cam footage, so. Let me go back. Watch when he shakes his hand. That is resisting. Right there, boom. Resisting. Yeah. Kind of locks him up. Partner comes up with cuffs in his hand. He's doing what he's supposed to do while the guy's kind of locked up.
Right.
Gets cuffs on. So from here. Now we got resisting again. Like you're being told, you just got tased. Officer comes up, tries to put his hands on you, and the taser, it only goes for 5 seconds. For those that don't know, they only cycle for 5 seconds. So the 5 second was up. He couldn't get him in cuffs.
You guys, is that a new change? Because ours was a 15-second standard ride.
Yeah, that's old school, bro.
Damn, I'm old.
Yeah. 5 seconds has been the standard since like 2012. So,
damn, I'm old.
So I know you can't quite hear it that well, but he said, "Get your gun out, N-word. Get your gun out, N-word."
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I got a question for you guys.
Yo.
So, at what point did they decide not to? And is this a tactic that you young bucks teach, where nobody's behind this dude? Right? He's sitting
another officer.
Yeah.
Well,
I get it how they're doing. They've got this kind of
where
L
he's
shape.
Positioned. You can't get behind him.
No, I mean, she can get behind him. I can get behind him. Like
you mean up on the stands behind him, not behind where he's standing currently.
Yes, right. Like at some point, and maybe they didn't have time. I didn't see the beginning, but I would immediately be like, if I'm the guy coming from the side, I want somebody to come up behind him. And
yeah, you seem like that type of guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I heard that about me.
I like getting Chuck laughing. Chuck's like, hell yeah.
It's only because he can't land these zingers normally. So the fact that you're able to do it is
well, it's a Marine. Yeah, what are you gonna do?
I know the crayons are delicious.
Manning's got some crayons you can have, man.
I'm just being respectful on someone else's podcast.
That's what's up. As a guy who worked lots of football games, snatching someone's hips in the stand is always difficult. Absolutely. Ward said,
I snatch people's hips all day.
And I fully intend for those that are watching and listening to this later on when we put it on the audio, kind of explaining what the press release said from the sheriff's department afterwards. And but right now, I just kind of want you to see what I saw when I first heard it.
I'm not going to jail. You stop me from having it.
You heard that key phrase right there.
I'm not going to jail.
Yep.
Listen,
oh, he's breakdancing.
And if you see what he's doing, his breakdance is him trying to pull the probes.
Yeah.
Again, resisting. This is all resisting.
I've seen that dance on Fortnite.
Yeah. So my question to anybody watching, like, what is your next move? Do you think he should get beat with a baton? Because that is an option. I would say no. Or do you shoot him with your gun? I would say no. The only thing you got left is to go hands on.
You rat pack him.
Yeah. You don't want to pepper spray him because that's going to be a bad gift for everybody, including bystanders.
Pepper spray is for dogs.
Yeah. So I wouldn't use that here either. This is where you got, I said it in my video, you got to earn your paycheck on this one. You got to go hands on. This is where it pays to have a banning with you.
I would love for a banning with this one because I hated the taser in the sense that I saw too many officers when we got the taser, because I'm old enough to remember when we got the taser. And I was the arrest and control instructor. And I said, you know what? You guys can't hand out taser applications like Pez, right? Like you have to go hands on.
Right.
You can't just say, I'm going to go hands on. Oh, he's going to resist. Pow, tased, right?
Yep.
This guy needs to be rat packed, period.
Yeah. And he's a big dude. He's not.
Yeah, he's thick.
Yeah. He's not a small guy. So,
this Golden is Glove boxer.
That's assault. That's assault. That's assault.
Okay. Here's part of the problem that you have to slow it down. If you're not used to looking at police use of force, for those that are outside of this world, I want you to look at what's going on with this officer right now. He's being pulled off balance into our bad guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to back it up just a little bit. He has a hold of this is where he's reaching to grab our officer's outer carrier.
Yes.
He's got his arm right now.
That's assault.
Now he's grabbing the officer. He's pulled him in. And some
as soon as the officer swings, he's off balance. He pulls him in.
Yep. Still pulling him. Still pulling him. And he's trying to say, I'm not fighting. I'm not fighting. This is where actions versus words are totally different things. This is why I like to watch use of force videos for the first time muted. And this is what
bad guy is based out. Bad guy is literally based out, pulled back, like he has leverage.
Yeah, he's got the leverage, tactical advantage. I'm going to go to the comments real quick while we're paused. Tim, the wordsmith, said, nowadays, lots of folks are able to rip out taser wires because the 4th and 5th gen tasers are way underpowered compared to the 3rd gen tasers. Also, heavy, thick guys don't feel the shock as much. I think the fatter you are, the more water that's in your body.
I thought it was more muscle. You feel it better, more.
Well, because I think water or muscle requires water, right?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. Fuck it. I'm not a pro.
I
remember what I was
fat.
It is neuromuscular incapacitation.
So I think it's muscle because fat is not as fat floats. So
maybe that's it. Yeah. So Greg said, no spray. I don't care where it gets deployed. Never fails. I'm going to get hit with it. Yeah.
Pepper sprays for dogs.
Ocean Girl said, I love Bambinos in Springfield. I lived in Joplin and Lafayette. I don't know what that means. There must be something I missed.
Eric, am I wrong? You're a jiu-jitsu guy.
Yes, sir.
Banning is a monster.
Yes.
Kenny, I don't know your background, but you've got tattoos. You look like a tough guy. You're Irish. Irish are known for fighting. Right. Chuck likes a Donnybrook as much as the next guy.
Fights like this.
There is no world where I don't just like bum rush this shitheel and completely crawl all over him and start to really just try to limit his appendage movement. Seats be damned. I've got the seats on one side, the seats on the other side. I can control his movement one way or the other based on the lower seats and the upper seats. So if I can get him to the ground in that narrow aisle.
You have two options there too. I don't understand what the second guy's doing. Like, you can go high and low. Right? Yeah, you can go high and low right there with that dude all day.
I've seen his body cam footage. He is trying to grab, but he doesn't get as engaged as I would have been.
Right. Not confident. I'll say it.
Overhand right.
And why are his handcuffs up? Look, guys, not even anywhere near close to handcuffing.
Look where his hand is at right now.
Oh yeah, right.
It's on his gun. He's grabbing his weapon, and he's
suspect grabbing cop's gun.
Yeah, he's got that's the whole wrist. That's his arm. I'll go back just a little bit so you can see it again.
You can't do that.
Now he's got it. Yep.
You can't do that. You can't do that. That's assault. That's a lawsuit, bitch. That's a lawsuit.
Lock big down. We can't. Oh.
Okay, so that is the end of that video.
Wait, they called that brutality?
Yeah. So
this generation is soft.
The big hang up was when he starts throwing the punches with the cuffs in his hand. So my argument was that, yes, punching with cuffs in your hand is not something that's taught. It's pretty frowned upon these days, especially. But everybody thought he was using them as a function of brass knuckles. That's not what he does. What he does is he loads the cuffs. And I wish I had a pair with me to demonstrate. But there's a thing that we call loading the cuffs to prepare to cuff. Do you got a set of cuffs with you?
I do.
Hell yeah, brother. Did you take the fuzzy stuff off of them?
Are they pink?
Yeah, they're still pink.
Chuck, I got the non-fuzzy cuffs. We're good.
So he's got Tom and Chuck are going to show exactly what we're talking about when we say we're loading the cuffs. Now, we work at completely different agencies across the nation. So loading the cuffs in itself, right before we go to put them on, we get them in a certain position. So Tom, can you show? And
right, and so you should honestly have your cuffs loaded, right? And you get it to the last ratchet, right? You get it to the very last ratchet. You're ready to go. You got your hand on it, and all it takes is that last little click.
Yep. Right? And if you look at how Tom's knuckles were, they were exposed. The cuffs are actually in the hand.
Right.
So they're not, if you go to throw a punch, yes, the sides of them may catch you, but they're not doing the brunt damage. It's your knuckles.
Right. It's not this, right? It's not
right.
It's not brass knuckles.
Yeah.
Handcuffs. This. You take the cut. Okay. So imagine open, right? You close them out to just the last click. You get them ready to go. You preload, right? And then when you cuff somebody, look. Oh, it's magic.
Beautiful. So that's loading the cuffs, and that's what we're referring to. So as he's throwing these overhand rights, the handcuffs were already loaded. He was trying to get in there while he was being tased, or just trying to get control of them and put the cuffs on. Now, this is where I do think the officer fucked up. I don't ever grab my cuffs until they're in a final handcuffing position.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So that is, and you see every officer that is on this panel shaking their head like this is a universal taught thing. Yeah. However,
keep going. I have a photo that explains why. So if you want me to share it with you, Eric, I'll text it to you and then you can share it on the podcast.
I have a feeling that it's going to be highly inappropriate for this.
No, you can share it. It's not highly. This is legit. This is why you don't have your cuffs in your hand.
Is it the one through the hand?
That's
Yeah. I think Yapper is from one of y'all's channels. They're saying hello. Yapper24, thanks for joining. Appreciate you. And guys, if you are just tuning in or wondering what's going on, make sure you go to War Stories Official Podcast. Make sure you go to Instagram, find Red Ninja. I don't know your numbers, Kenny. What is it? Red Ninja?
111.
111. Red Ninja 111. Find him there. Also find his podcast, which is
Beyond the Barrel.
Beyond the Barrel. Okay. My brain's not. I can't remember all that. I only remember Tom's war stories because it's right in front of his name.
Yeah, I put it on there deliberately.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sending you this, Eric. This is a why you do not preload or you do not get your cuffs in your hands without being ready to cuff somebody.
Yeah,
because cuffs are a weapon. The ratchet is a weapon. It's sharp. It's a hook, right?
Right. Yeah, fish hooks.
So I just texted it to Eric. I can email it to you if that helps. But yeah. So
holy shit.
This was shared with us on our podcast, and we talked about cuffing, and we shared it because ultimately, if you have your cuffs out and you're not ready to cuff somebody, this is what will happen to you because the cuffs are in and of themselves a weapon, both offensive and defensive, right? If the suspect gets your cuffs, let's imagine a world where you get one cuff on and the suspect's other arm is free, or you lose control of the cuffed arm and that ratchet is free. And now he's swinging around an arm with a hook on the end of it, right? These are all the reasons why until the suspect is completely and 100% under control, you do not get your friggin' cuffs out.
Yeah. Oh my God.
End of story.
Yeah. So you're
seeing, and that is 100% a
cop's
cop's hand.
Yeah. That absolutely. So that can happen. Back to the point of him loading those cuffs there. It was a bad time to do that. I should have kept those put away. It was a bad time to do that. Should have kept them put away. So I am going to now pull up the sheriff's presentation, if you will.
All right.
And I think it's the way they articulate it and break it down, it may take a little time to get through, but it's worth it. So you guys can, because I'm just going to be repeating what they say, but I like you guys to hear it from somebody else as well. So we already got through that part. So share.
By the way, one of our listeners, Manning, says that you look like you killed 2 stones with 1 bird.
I like it.
Love it.
All right. So this is from the Sheriff's Department. This is a press release that they do.
Context is important, and we're going to start by talking about how this whole incident began. So around 4:20 p.m., there was an employee with SAFE who was working her assigned section of the stadium. At that time, she's making sure people that are coming have the appropriate tickets for where they're going. Some children approached her to go to the section they didn't have tickets for, so she asked them to go find their parents and to come back with a ticket. There was some discussion back and forth about getting this ticket when eventually Walter Brown arrived and pushed the SAFE worker out of the way, accused her of kidnapping his children and threatened to kill her, and then grabbed one of his children and dragged them along up the stadium stairs and told his other kids to follow him.
So that is where the assault came in.
Holy shit.
I was told this off record, and that's how I kind of put my video out because I didn't have an official statement or anything like that. I was just told it was based off an assault. So but I had other people chime in and they were like, no, it's because he didn't have the right tickets. This is bullshit. And then other people said, no, it's because he was using vulgar language. I'm like, all right, well, I'll put all that out there.
Nah, dude, that's not a vulgar language call.
Yeah, I'll put all that out there. My argument would be regardless. It doesn't matter what the call was. If they had a lawful reason to be there and they tried to get him to leave, and I assumed it was a criminal trespass thing because that was how they were going to arrest him. That everything based on a lawful arrest, if you've got the elements there, everything that happened afterwards is justified. So,
right.
At this point in time, the stadium worker decided that she did not want to be the victim of a crime of a battery, which did occur. However, she did want JSO to respond and evict the attendee from the stadium. So Officers Bowers and Kelly responded and spoke to the SAFE employee. After getting the information from her, they then proceeded to go up to the section. So the first video we're going to watch.
Before we get to that, somebody asked me, they said that a stadium's a public place. So Kenny, in your experience, is a stadium a public place or is it a private place that allows the public to go in?
I guess it depends. I guess if the city paid for it all, I guess it is a public place, but you still have to have a reason to be there. It doesn't mean that everyone can just go hang out there because the city paid for it.
Correct. Usually a city, well, I guess it just depends on where you're at. Stadiums are privately
cities
owned.
can finance it while it's still owned by a private company, right? So
correct.
So the city can come into a sweetheart deal with the team and say, we will finance the construction of the project. However, you owe us X amount of dollars plus interest, monthly or annually or whatever. And so while the city may fund it, it doesn't make it a city property, right? It's still a private property. But at the same time, a bar is private property. And yet you can be arrested for drunk in public in a bar because while it is private property, it is open to the public.
I look at Soldier Field in Chicago. It's owned by the city of Chicago, but they lease it out to have concerts. Yeah. So they lease it out. They even lease it out to the Chicago Bears. They have a lease agreement, but they actually own the stadium itself, but they lease it out. So if I take a lease on it, I say you can come in and you can't, and whoever bought tickets, I guess.
Well, if you just to add on that, if you look at every big city and they have a zoo, city owns zoo.
Good example.
It is still a paid event for family to come in, but it is it's open to the public. So that's the hiccup I get on these stadiums versus open city areas. It's the same thing there. You're not going to get in unless obviously you hop a fence, but you're paying as a patron to get into this place. So inside the zoo, same thing.
I'll give you an adjacent example. Schools are publicly owned, right? They're a public entity, but they are not open to the public.
Right.
Right. So you get into that. While this may be a public entity, it is only open to those people who have lawful business on the property.
Yeah.
So you're talking about Soldier Field, you're talking about the zoo. When you pay for a ticket, you have agreed to gain entry to that quote unquote public property that is open to the public under certain conditions. And then if you violate those conditions, you got to go.
Yeah. And like Ward's saying, you have to pay to get in. So it's private.
Right.
And I would further that with saying, like in Kenny's case, where it's the Chicago Bears or whoever it is, like when they're leasing it and they are taking people in, paying for tickets, they're the leaseholder at the moment. So they have the right to say yay or nay. And because this staff person was saying this guy's got to go, well, that's the Lord of the Lands because they represent the company. Yep. And so they got to go. And that is criminal trespass. So when you're told you have to leave, they have to, well, at least in the state of Texas, we have to afford you the opportunity to leave. So her coming up and saying, you got to go. And then the police said, you heard her, you got to go. Yeah. And this guy coming up and saying, I ain't going nowhere.
Yes, now, you can get trespassed from a public park.
You can. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
You can get trespassed from a where you get your mail.
You can get a post office. Yeah, you can get trespassed from just about anything.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. It is, and I've tried to explain this before. They're like, no, the public owns it. You can't get trespassed. Yeah, you absolutely can.
Are you dealing with sovereign citizens and First Amendment auditors?
Yes. Yeah. I tell them, I'm like, look, cops try to avoid it because it is a freaking slippery slope, but you can get trespass from that. So let's keep going.
Watch is going to be body-worn camera footage that has been combined from Bowers and Kelly. It's going to begin with them ascending the stairs to when they make the initial contact with Brown. And we just want to point out, for the sake of brevity, we have cut the footage from one officer to another because Officer Kelly initially makes contact with Brown, then steps back, and he's not close enough to capture the conversation between Officer Bowers and Brown, so we will then switch to Officer Brown's body-worn camera footage.
Young to be a sheriff.
He can't. He's got to be the PIO, right?
As a reminder, the first 30 seconds of body-worn camera footage is not recorded for audio, but is recorded for video.
You know, they're both regretting having worked a part-time at the stadium. Like, damn it, all these steps. That's why I always worked bike patrol.
My car payment.
That's why I always worked bike patrol outside.
Didn't look good enough in the short.
Our guy's already recording, by the way.
Hey, sir, you've been ejected, so we all leave.
Right there. That is your warning. You've been ejected, so you have to leave. Yep. If you refuse to leave now, you are subject to arrest because you've been told to leave.
This lady here assaulted me, and I have it on camera. You would like to see it? If they're private property, they want you to leave, so you have to leave. It's her.
So the argument that this lady here assaulted him, and would you like to see it? My response would be, sure, we'll see it outside the stadium, but you weren't concerned about it until we arrived because you were sitting there chilling.
So at what point, and I'll say for me, I would not have spoken to him until I either had a position of tactical advantage or had called him to me. Right. And granted, this guy will probably not get up and come talk to you in the aisle, but he might have. We don't know because they didn't try. Yeah. That would have been my first. Hey, sir, can you come talk to me for a minute? I have a question for you. I have. Fuck you. Come talk to me. Okay, fine. Now, before you say why you're there and before you trespass him and before you say he's kicked out, you gain that tactical position of advantage, and then you tell him what's what.
Yeah.
Right? But they gave up the plot when they were 10 feet away, 15 feet away. So
yeah, I'm going to the comments. Tim, the wordsmith, said, the key part is, does your presence interfere with the peace of the event or pose a danger to public order? And obviously, I would say his presence did.
Well, his presence is asshole.
Listen, remember I told you I'm either going to kill a cop or not leave.
What did he say?
He said, I'm either going to kill a cop or not leave.
Wow.
I'll go back. That was a little too far.
Yeah, because I missed that,
but I was like, it was like,
This lady here assaulted me, and I have it on camera. You would like to see it? If they're private property, they want you to leave, so you have to leave. It's her property.
So they just said it's private property. You have to leave. He said it's her private property.
Right.
And this is the education to the public. She's a representative of the property. That is every staff member there. So.
So wait a minute. That lady right there is a staff member?
No. Not this lady.
She's
okay, back good. Aisleway now. She just pointed him out, so that's him.
I was like, what the hell? You don't have a staff member that close to the suspect. But...
No. I think that's his wife, actually.
Thank God. All
right. Remember I told you I'm either going to kill a cop or...
So we've got the captions up there right now. It says, you remember I told you I'm either going to kill a cop or not leave. So
that takes it to a whole different level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when he was grabbing the gun now. Like just, yeah, it's messed up.
And this guy, I would say wisely, backed up, tried to create some distance, and was like, all right, get up, because I'm not touching this dude. He's just threatening to kill me. Like, that's a different level.
See, and I'm not a taser guy, so I would have immediately gone behind him and said, ma'am, get the fuck out of the way, and put myself in a position to put a neck restraint on him. Because he's sitting down fat, dumb, and happy.
Yeah.
Can't do that anymore, though.
Can't do that anymore, though, bro.
You know...
Is it just me, or is Tom frozen?
Yeah, that might be.
Yeah, he is frozen.
He is frozen.
What the hell?
I mean, it's making the podcast better, but... he's just stuck in it's like an icon now, just stuck in an avatar position. But we can hear him. It actually works out just fine. All right, we're gonna keep going here. Okay, so now he's got his back turned to us, which is bad, and he's standing up.
I didn't do anything against the law.
Boom, right there. He just pulls away again. So, well, I shouldn't say again. I think that's the first time he pulls away. He's been told, you got to get out of here. And then tells him that he's going to kill him.
So tell me what my crime was. Right now it's trespassing.
Pulls away again, right there. Don't fucking touch him.
Kidnap my kids. I did. Can I talk? There's a good way to talk. There is a good way to go downstairs and talk. There's a good way. There's a right way. There's a wrong way. There's a right way. I'm still sitting in my seat. The way you're doing right now is wrong. No, I'm still sitting in my seat. Right now, I'm still sitting in my seat. The right way is for me to tell you what happened. I'm not leaving with all 5 of my kids here. I'm not leaving.
So he's made it very clear that he's not leaving. And you don't get that choice anymore. Old Tom's trying to get back in. There he is. Hey,
sorry to ruin.
Alive and well. He's not frozen again.
I apologize for ruining the show.
Well, now that you came back,
That's what I'm saying. I should have left.
I'll go to jail. I don't give a fuck because I'm going to fucking beat your ass if I'm going back to jail. DJ Bowers. He calls out the officer specifically.
Yeah.
DJ Bowers.
And point at name badge.
I will do that. I'm not going to jail. She tried to kidnap my kid. I understand what you're saying. She tried to kidnap my kid. You're not touching me.
Pulls away from that officer. So that is, I believe, 4 times he is pulled away. So anybody saying that these officers jumped to going straight to violence and flexing their power and authority, no, that's not what happened. And this officer happens to be black, and when he reached for him, he said, "Do not touch me," and then he dropped the N-word with a hard R. So that is frowned upon in society, and I don't recommend you talk that way.
You know, as a representative of administration, I just want to talk about the unprofessionalism of having a tattoo visible.
I would be more concerned that he has a barbed wire tattoo around the wrist. Which,
anyway, I just
had his judgment in tattoos is poor. At least it was in the mid 90s.
That's some Tiger King tattoo right there.
Is that what that is?
Yeah,
I think it's a tribal. I think when he was 19, he saw From Dusk Till Dawn once, twice.
I'm never going to financially recover from this.
Right.
You're not touching. I'm okay with that from here. Maybe not the way I personally would have done it, but it's an option. It is a viable option. Banning.
The speed at which he tases him after the N-word is.
Hey.
Really? Well.
I mean, it was timed. I'm okay with it.
Sure.
Banning, what are you saying right now, man?
I would already be hands-on. That's just me. 21 years. Well, let's see, 19 years carrying the taser. I've never tasered anybody. I've drive stunned one person, but that's when my legs were hanging out of the car and it was in reverse in a donut. And I used to drive stun to get his freaking foot off the pedal.
Like you're explaining this while your massive paws are up by your face.
No, I am not massive when banning is my type of cop because it does not require size; it requires technique.
It does, and size does help a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm really not a violent person at all, but
you don't have to be at 6'5".
Well, I'm not 6'5". Eric is elaborating on that a little bit. I'm about 6'1", 6'1", about 315 pounds, but grabbing somebody and getting that little lock in there, getting them on the ground and getting them in cuffs. I've had some people fight. I haven't really lost one while wearing the uniform, but just getting them on the ground, be done with it, get them in cuffs and drag them out of there. I mean, that's just how I operate.
Yeah.
Taser failures. That
murder. Said great example for the kids. It's got to be one of your guys. I haven't heard that name on here before.
Yeah.
So many taser failures. I think that's what Red Ninja just said. So many taser failures, and going hands on is it's always a tried and true method. And there are times when the taser, it's not that the NMI doesn't work, it's the taser is as bad, and it won't work. It'll still go off, but it won't deliver the amount of watts or volts or whatever necessary to cause that NMI. So going hands on is always great. And I think the more we get into 2024, 2025, less you're going to see that. And I think that the people need to go back to it.
Yeah. And it's also hard to get the spread that you need. When you're seated that way and you're only a few seats away and backing up and trying to keep, these people behind them is a problem because they're all with him. So
I don't know why
you got to keep your eyes on that, which is, it's kind of a, I would have liked to hear them say like, you guys need to get going, something like that. Like,
I need you guys to step out into the aisle.
Yeah.
My whole thing is I want to get him away from that rail.
Yes.
I don't know how far that goes.
Glass over tea kettle. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just get him away from that freaking rail, take him down on the ground and be done.
Dylan Dorward Sachs said this guy deserved so much worse. So he's a little bit trying to pull away again. This is resisting.
Let it ride, dude. Come on.
I'm gonna go back a little bit more.
See, you go back a little bit and you look at the half-hearted attempts at the arm grab. This is where, if you're gonna arm grab somebody, grab somebody.
Yeah. Force is force. It doesn't matter if you flick somebody or you punch them straight across the face. It's
not telegraph, just arm grab. Like, get control of the arm. Full send.
Yeah. Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. Trying to kidnap what you're doing. You're not touching me.
Held his hand for a second.
Now
he's challenging the cop. You want some? And then he tells him, and he's dropping the N-word again. Pull the gun out. So the cop loads the cuffs, and this is where you can see he doesn't have them loaded up like brass knuckles. They're loaded to handcuff, like we were showing earlier.
Yes, and as we discussed, not a good idea. But
and these guys, we didn't watch this part. They didn't know what I was talking about. I just said loading the cuffs, and as you saw, we are all trained the same way on how to load cuffs. So,
I'm not going to jail. You stop me.
now we're trying. I think this officer's thinking, this is just me spitballing here, but I'm betting his thinking was, all right, he's distracted. Let me get a good taser shot while my partner has a hand, and maybe we can get him pulled down to the ground right here. A little risky because he's right next to him, but I don't necessarily disagree with it. Didn't happen yet. Trying to knock him over. Boom, boom. So this is where he starts going to town on some distraction strikes, as we like to call them, to try to get him down to the ground and effect the arrest. Now this is where he's grabbing
at what point do you grab that collar and step back as rapidly as you can, pull him further and farther and faster than he intended to go, get him down on his face, right? Tim, the wordsmith, says it comes down to training and experience, but it also comes down to your skill set, right? You have to practice. And I know I'm an arrest control instructor. Like, I get it. I come to it from the perspective of you train, you learn this stuff, you make it second nature. If you know this stuff, if you know to grab and step back, a kick and a half distance backward rapidly and get them on their face and then rat pack them on top. These are all techniques. These are all things that if you think about it, you practice it, you know it cold, and you're not scared to do it.
Yeah.
They're highly effective.
Yep.
I still think with two officers, and you just like one say high, one say low, and just go for it. You have them outnumbered. It's they're making it a lot harder than it needed to be, I feel like.
Because they're afraid to commit.
Look at the terrain too, though. Like,
I get it.
It's fucking hard.
Yeah, but you could also go to the
limits him just as much as it limits them.
True. I'm just saying it's hard to commit to something when you don't feel confident yourself, and that's what I'm.
You don't feel confident.
I feel no confidence in this.
Yes.
And for those that are like, well, why wasn't he going hands on? Like, I think he was fully intent to. He had to put his taser up. You don't want that thing flopping around. He had just deployed his taser, and now we got the cuffs in our hand again. We
have two cops with their right. So the taser cop. Black cop has cuffs in his hand at one point, and now white cop is cuffed. Who's the mugger?
Yeah.
Who's the mugger?
Yeah. So I'm seeing a training issue. And
yes,
that's what I see here is a training issue.
100%.
If one had their cuffs in their hand, okay, it happens. They both immediately went to cuffs in the hand.
100%.
I think that's what he's got a cuff on. Our guys, this is where he tried to grab the gun.
You're not fighting anybody. Come on, dude. You did it yourself.
And this is where you really have to start distinguishing between what they say, but what they're doing. He's saying, I'm not fighting you. I'm going to get rich. Y'all are, whatever. But his actions are he is fighting. He's pulling. This is where he's pulling on.
Right now. Yeah, that's active resistance.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of froze up. I don't know if that's us or if...
At Go Auto, we know car insurance can be expensive. The good news is it doesn't have to be. Go.
Stop. I haven't done anything. Stop. Put your hand behind your back. I'm trying to help you on this, but you're not helping yourself. I haven't done anything. Put your hands behind your back. I haven't done it. I'm trying, but I haven't done anything.
Pretty well past negotiation.
Yeah. So
Oh my gosh.
this is part of one of the things I like to try to educate people about that don't see this stuff all the time is subjects' actions versus what they're saying.
Right.
And this guy truly believes because he didn't physically assault those cops, he didn't punch, he didn't throw an elbow, he didn't throw a headbutt, he didn't bite, he didn't do that. But what he did do was he grabbed a hold of an officer, he ripped the probes out, he pushed the officer's hand away when he was trying to effect arrest 4 times. He said, "I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill a cop today. I'm going to kill you, Bowers. I'm not going to jail." He did all of these things. So you don't have to, as a cop, we do not have to wait to be hit to hit them.
No.
Just like we don't have to be shot at to shoot someone.
Right.
Yeah.
So anybody that's under the impression that I got to wait to be assaulted before I can assault back is out of your mind. That is not how we operate. I have hit people for clenching their jaw and their fist and taking a stance.
It's a fighting stance, dude.
Articulation.
I slapped the ever-living shit out of their face and watched them like they weren't ready for it. But based on their actions, they had a clenched fist. I could physically see him clenching his teeth because he stopped talking. And to me, that was the end. I was like, oh shit, it's on. So I'm not going to wait.
You bring up a good point, Eric, and again, I'm old enough to remember writing reports before body camera footage. But you had to paint the picture. You had to say his jaw set, his teeth clenched, he assumed a fighting stance. He stopped communicating. His knuckles turned white. He balled his fists up. He cocked his shoulders back. You needed to paint the picture.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you said there was no way this guy wasn't going to fight, and so I did X, Y, and Z, you painted the picture that you knew this guy was in your based on my training and experience.
Absolutely.
This guy was not going to come quietly, and therefore I countered with
I never come quietly.
Right. They never, and we don't, I mean, and there's so many times where we're like, I really don't want you to.
When you're trying to arrest me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Me so hard.
Don't make it weird, bro. I'm just arresting you.
My biggest issue, that whole video, and I know we're not supposed to Monday morning quarterback, but my biggest thing is that video. You have his girlfriend or wife or whoever. Luckily, the kids aren't there because he has 5 of them supposedly there. But the other gentleman standing there, there's 3 adults. At no point should that partner officer be in front on the row below, because he's out of the fight when it starts. He's out of the fight the whole time because all he can do is reach. But if you're above and you push those people out, you can reach down and you can grab him. You can jump on his back. You can throw him down onto the stadium seats. And guess what? It's a lot harder to fight when that shit's hitting your stomach.
Yeah. And Thomas Holbrook brings up a good point. He said our hair holds frowned upon these days, and the answer is hell no. If I'm going hands on and you got a big old beard, I'm going to use it to control your head. So Ben,
there is this is what I tried to teach was there is a certain point at which the Marquis of Queensberry rules no longer apply, right? There is no rounds, there's no time limit, there is no rules about punches below the belt. If you were in a fight, I'm going to fish hook. I'm going to eye gouge.
Yup.
I'm a neck restraint. And I know the neck restraint is frowned upon, but
it just depends on the situation. It's not that you can't use them. It's just got to be I think in any case now, because of the Supreme Court, I think it has to be in a deadly force situation.
I mean, he did say he was going to kill a cop, and then he did grab the guy's gun. I mean, at that point, I think
he threatened to kill me. That's the articulation. He threatened to kill me. He touched my gun. Boom. Yeah. You're in a deadly force situation. Yeah. For us in California, for those of you who aren't in California, California has a section 243 F4. 243F4 specifically defines serious bodily injury. It codifies it. And then deadly force says you need to be in fear of death or serious bodily injury. So what they're saying is you have to think that you are going to die or that you are going to suffer serious bodily injury.
Yeah.
Or somebody else is going to die or they are going to suffer serious bodily injury. And serious bodily injury includes loss of consciousness, a wound requiring extensive suturing, fractured bone, right? It lines out the medical conditions. Well, if this guy's telling you he's going to do one of those things to you, then guess what? You are in danger of serious bodily injury.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've met the threshold.
Yeah. I think Kansas City, Missouri is the only department that I know of or that I remember that still is teaching lateral vascular neck restraints or whatever it is. But I think it's under the guise that we want you to know how to use this. So if you get in that situation, you know how to either defend it or use it in deadly force situation. I think everybody should be learning it just so they know.
Well, because your suspects are learning it from watching Ultimate Fighting and watching MMA and watching TV. They're learning the same moves that you're not allowed to use by watching UFC.
Yep.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this right now. My agency said absolutely no neck restraints, no C clamps, none of that. Right after George Floyd case came out or the incident came out, 100% none of that. It was a strict memorandum. Don't do it. If you do it, you're going to get fired. And I brought up the whole point. Well, what happens if you're in a fight with your partner and the suspect is going for your partner's gun and they're so tangled up that you can't get a clear shot off? The only thing you can do is that's safe for everyone is put them in a rear naked choke and choke them out. And they're like, absolutely not. You'll get fired. And I said, even in that deadly force situation, they're like, yep, my partner's life's on. Like, yep. I said, so what do you want me to do? Beat him in the head with my radio, or do you want me to stab him? And they said, do what you got to do, but you just can't choke.
Yeah, but you work for one of the most political agencies in the fucking world. And I'll ask and Banning, do your agencies tell you if you can choke them, you can smoke them, right? Like, is it
mostly
the carotid restraint? Is it deadly force?
It is. It's considered deadly force here.
Right.
So.
Now, and I get it, right? Like even we talked about Daryl Gates' book, Chief, on a podcast we just recorded today. And Daryl Gates admitted that he screwed up when he spoke to the city council and he said there was medical research. And the medical research suggested that certain races of people, when subjected to the carotid restraint, did not have the same reactions as other races.
What?
Unfortunately, yes. This is a whole medical study back in the day, right?
I've choked out a lot of people. They all go out the same.
What he was saying, because what happened was black people were dying in custody after the carotid restraint was applied, and white people were not. And so what they were saying is that black people were being choked to death. The LAPD conducted an extensive study, and unfortunately, Daryl Gates was an old school cop who went in front of the city council and said, black people don't react to the carotid restraint like normal people.
Really? He said that?
He said it in a city council meeting, and this was the late 80s, early 90s. And you can't use that kind of verbiage and not expect people to freak out and go, you're racist, right?
Yeah, you think?
Oh, 100%.
But the bottom line is we see the carotid restraint applied multiple times a night on the UFC. Or attempted to be applied. Like anybody who goes to a jiu-jitsu, Eric, you go, they teach you, and you are forced to undergo this thing multiple times.
Yeah,
it is a completely safe technique.
They're willing to take that risk as a small business, like thousands of gyms across the nation. They're willing to take that liability where it's happening every day, multiple times a day, versus the department, where it rarely happens, just depends on where you're at. So, but that is all the videos that we have for tonight. I always like to sit here and bullshit with the audience while they're still on and about. We still got a lot of people on here. So I appreciate everybody sticking with us. We're right at that 2-hour mark we usually like to hit. Before we do anything, Kenny, you got anything you want to get out there, man?
Nah, man, I'm good. I appreciate you having me on, though. It was cool.
Hey,
I know what to expect.
Appreciate you coming on.
No, thank you guys.
Yeah, I appreciate you. We'll have you on now that you've done it, and you're not the only ginger now. So Banning and you can
I feel comfortable.
Talk to each other and all ginger things, and talks about how you guys don't have souls, and just do that, which is crazy because I have a ginger of my own. She's in the house, probably on FaceTime with her friends, but she's my little ginger, and people laugh because I literally call her Ginger. Like that's her nickname for Dad. So she's greatness. But appreciate you being on, Kenny, for the first time, and then Chuck and Tom. Tom going pee?
Yeah, he's right there.
There he is. Tommy boy.
Yes, sir.
I was just explaining how I appreciate you guys being on, and it was being the
we
first live that you guys have done with us. You're always.
I think Tom and Chuck said that they were doing a live after this. What is just to get it out there to get more people
to
watch it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Chuck. No.
Okay. I was gonna say it's
I love you.
It's Locker Room Live. We go on. It's generally every Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can catch us on our YouTube at War Stories Podcast 7403. You can also go to Instagram at War_Stories_official. Click the link in our bio. Pops it down, and you can click everything. You can get to the Instagram. You can get to the Facebook where we will have the live. You can get to the YouTube, which the live will be on uninterrupted the whole time in case we go over the hour mark. So I would suggest hitting the live there.
Instagram sucks.
So we're going live right after.
Hopefully, Eric and Banning, you guys are all welcome. You guys can all join us tonight. Essentially, what we did was we were doing our interview shows where we collected law enforcement stories, and we did the interviews about what was going on and the work experiences but to Kenny's point, Kenny, I love what you're doing, which is we bring cops on, we bring people, and we talk about anything but, right? And so as our show progressed, we had our listeners messaging saying we want more content, and booking interviews with people willing to bear their careers for an hour. It's not easy. 4 times a month, and look at that, 214 to 179. California just checked in, so yeah,
I might win some money tonight.
I have
I bet on this.
My score says 216 to 193. So that's interesting.
That's what I have too.
Okay. Anyway, so what we decided to do was we asked our listeners, what do you want us to do? If we're not going to do interviews with cops and firefighters and veterans, what do you want us to do for the second episode? And they said, we want you to talk about current events from the perspective of people who are in the law enforcement, veteran, firefighter community. So we reached out. One of our close friends who's been on the show, he's a Navy veteran who went to prison after he got out of the Navy. And then there's myself, who's law enforcement retired, and Chuck, who's veteran and law enforcement. And then we also have a close friend who grew up with us. Oh God, that's our terrible website. He is not a cop. He's not a firefighter. He's not a veteran. He is our friend who we grew up with, who kept us honest. And he is there to kind of give the everyman's perspective of, wait, time out. What are you talking about? What the hell are you? And remind us that there's a different perspective. So once a week we go live and we talk about what's in the news and we just crack on it. So tonight we decided that tonight was the big news story. It's the big election night. So we're going to go live tonight instead of on a Wednesday night. And we're hoping to have Erik join us if he's not too in his cups. And
I'm good, bro.
Banning and Kenny, you guys are welcome as well. Just send us an email. We'll just have a big party tonight, and we'll keep the party going over on our channel.
Once we go offline, just shoot me the link. And
yeah, I absolutely will. Erik, if you can send us Banning's either email or whatever.
Yeah.
But to send you the link, join us. We are going to talk about the big game tonight, which is currently red team 216, blue team 193. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some previous topics. We're going to talk about some of the other crazy shit that's going on in the world today. And that's kind of what we do is we want to spend one day talking about law enforcement, military, veteran, firefighter issues, and then one day talking about the rest of the world. So we do that live.
Cool.
I appreciate the offer, but I'm going to have to take a rain check because it's 10 o'clock.
Is it your bedtime?
You're on the same time as I am, old man.
Our tattoo artists are civilian. Just for the record, if y'all need some good work, our civilian that is our closest friend, I've been friends with this guy since I'm 14 years old. He's actually a tattoo artist in Austin, Texas.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
And he does all my work. So if you need work done, take the trip.
Is he good at like realistic, like?
I'll send you his. He's good at everything.
Cool.
He's very good. There's a lot of fine line stuff.
Kenny, I want to show your podcast stuff. What's a link I could go to?
Beyond the Barrel podcast on Spotify, on YouTube, on Apple. It's all there.
Okay, I'm pulling up Beyond the Barrel right now. Not Beyond the Barrel bourbon though.
Nope.
Give me 1 second, guys. I just want everybody that's listening to be able to see exactly what we're talking about. Beyond the Barrel podcast. There it is. And, go to the page. Okay, I got the page popped up. I'm going to share. Boom, there we go. So now if you guys are looking for Beyond the Barrel podcast, you know what you're looking for. I'm going to hit that subscribe button right now. Look at that.
Buddy. Appreciate it.
Nice. Anytime, bud.
Badass logo.
And then I should probably share the actual link to our show instead of the link to our private stream, which I heard by accident.
No worries. Well, now that everybody knows, we've seen both, and everybody in the crowd there. I am looking to see if anybody had any comments, or questions, or anything. If anybody's got questions, say them now or forever hold your peace until the next live. We are kind of shifting gears. We're going to try to start doing the lives on a Monday night around this same time. We tried to do that last night. It did not work out. And sorry, I'm reading. It didn't work out last night. I had a power outage, so I apologize. Shit happens. Power didn't come back on until like 2:30 in the morning. So is what it is. But we decided to power on and do it here today. And it turned out it was just going to be Kenny. And then we ended up having the War Stories guys jump on. And it's just how we roll. We try to be relaxed.
Improvise, adapt, and overcome.
We get to the videos when we can, but the fun part is just bullshitting back and forth with each other and trying to educate people the best we can, answer some questions, do what we do, and have fun. Overall, have fun. This is fun. I had a good time with you guys. So
it was appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the invite, Banning and Eric and Kenny. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Anytime.
Come on our show, man. Tell your story. We'd love to have you.
Hell yeah.
All right, for sure.
All right, guys. Everybody in the audience, we appreciate you. Thank you. Please go to everybody's stuff, including mine if you're not already. Subscribe, do that shit. Yeah.